in the worst ways, oh baby. It's a shame that we don't operate well, baby. Cause you're bad for my health, I swear you go to hell. Take the L, I don't wanna see you swell no more. And you might be the death of me.
I don't know how this lighting is looking, but hello everyone and welcome back to another weekly vlog. Today we're just going to be doing what I realistically read in a week as a 9 to 5 girly. So if you don't know, I'm Lucy. I work 9 to 5 at a law firm. Today is Monday, however today is unique because it's a bank holiday, so I'm not working today. So I'm going to try and get as much reading as possible done today because, like I said, I'm not working. I have actually already finished a book this morning. I've just put it over there, and I returned it on my Kindle. Okay, you will have just seen from the clips, oh my god, my battery's flashing. You will have just seen from the clips that I read The Inmate by Freida McFadden. I ended up giving it 3 stars. It's about a girl called Brooke who moves back to her old hometown after 10 years after she was she nearly got murdered by her boyfriend, and she sent her boyfriend to prison. And she moved back to the town after her parents died, and she has a son, and she starts working as a nurse in the prison where her ex-boyfriend, who attempted to murder her, is imprisoned. And it basically just follows her seeing this guy again for the first time, seeing her other old friend from 10 years ago. Yeah, I don't really want to say anything else because I don't want to spoil anything, but in terms of a Freida McFadden book, it's probably my least favourite that I've read. I think I've read 6 Freida McFadden books now, and it was probably my least favourite. I've ended up giving it 3 stars. I just didn't enjoy it as much as some other Freida McFadden books I've read. However, the epilogue was really, really good, and I did not expect what was revealed in the epilogue. But yeah, I gave it 3 stars, which is like fine. I'd still recommend it. I recommend all of Freida McFadden's books, but yeah, just probably 6 out of 6 on the ranking of Freida McFadden books I've read. In terms of other books that I want to read this week, actually, first I am just going to change my battery because it's making me anxious that it's flashing at me. Okay, in terms of other books that I want to read this week, I'm currently reading Twisted Hate by Anna Huang. I'm on page 320 out of 504, so I'm like 65% of the way through, and I'm pretty sure this book put me in a slump, not because I don't like the book, but just because I'm a firm believer that romance books shouldn't be over 350 pages long. Any romance book that is 500 pages needs to be shorter, because why do we need 500 pages of romance? I'm not sure. However, this book is the 3rd book in the Twisted series by Anna Huang. This follows Jules and Josh. It's a best friend's brother, enemies to lovers, enemies with benefits romance. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Like, I like the story and everything like that. I don't think it's the actual content of the book that's put me in a bit of a slump. It's just, why is it 500 pages long? I think it's unnecessary. Anyway, so I do want to try and finish that if possible. And then I also do want to pick up The Crimson Moth by Kristen Cicciarelli, or I'm going to say Cicciarelli, but I have no idea if that's how you pronounce her surname. I apologise if that's wrong. But this is the book 1 in the Crimson Moth duology. I'm pretty sure this is called The Heartless Hunter in America. No idea why, but I think this cover's stunning. This is like a big paperback because I got it in Dublin because it's stunning. I'm pretty sure it's only out in hardback in England. Anyway, this is a fantasy romance book. It says the only thing more treacherous than being a witch is falling in love. On the night Rune's life changed forever, blood ran in the streets. Now in the aftermath of a devastating revolution, witches have been diminished from powerful rulers to outcasts, ruthlessly hunted due to their waning magic, and Rune must hide what she is. Spending her days pretending to be nothing more than a vapid young socialite, Rune spends her nights as the Crimson Moth, a witch vigilante who rescues her kind from being purged. When a rescue goes wrong, Rune decides to throw the witch hunters off her scent by courting the handsome Gideon Sharp. Except Gideon is a notorious and unforgiving witch hunter, loyal to the revolution, and falling for him would be deadly. Enemies to lovers doesn't get much more high stakes than a witch and a witch hunter falling in love. If that doesn't explain the book, I don't know what does. But yeah, I really want to read this. I've been itching to pick it up ever since I bought it in Dublin. It is 404 pages long, and the writing on the pages is huge, and the chapters are very short. I think there's like 60 something chapters. Yeah, there are 62 chapters in this book, in a 400-page book, so I think I might start this today, honestly, because I just really want to pick it up. I've been so excited to read it. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to start this book. Like, everything in this book is just stunning to me. Like, oh, it's just stunning, and if I don't like the actual book, I'm gonna be very upset, because literally just look at it, it's literally stunning. I can't cope. Okay, I think I'm gonna start this one, and then maybe later in the week we can try and finish Twisted Hate. But today's plan, or the rest of the day, is gonna be to read this.
No, baby, but we don't want no homicide now, do we? I'm shooting my soul so loud. Are you happy now? 'Cause
Okay, it's a few hours later now. I'm gonna give an update on The Crimson Moth. So I'm currently on page 80, which is 20% in. This book is so good. I'm so glad I decided to pick this up. So we're currently getting two perspectives. We're getting Rune's perspective, who is the witch, but no one other than her two best friends know that she's a witch. And she's also like a, what's that word? Like someone who goes and like tries to save people. I can't remember what the word is, but she goes and tries to save witches from being slaughtered, because it's like illegal to be a witch now. And we're also getting the perspective of Gideon, who is one of the soldiers who goes and hunts witches, and he is like the main one. He's like, I don't know how to explain it, but he's very experienced at hunting witches and has a reputation of being like one of the best witch hunters. And he's currently searching for the Crimson Moth, who is Rune, but no one other than, like I said again, her two best friends, Alex and Verity, know that she's the Crimson Moth and that she's also secretly a witch herself. Alex, who is Rune's best friend, also happens to be the younger brother of Gideon, so there's also sort of like a love triangle sort of situation with Alex, Gideon and Rune. But yeah, it's really good so far, and honestly I'm just going to carry on reading it and see how far I can get today, because I'm loving this. Hello, today's Wednesday. I didn't film anything yesterday, but this is a realistic what I read in a week as a 9 to 5 girly, so that's okay. Reading updates, I am currently on page 114 of The Crimson Moth. Still loving it. I didn't read any of it yesterday, but I'm planning on reading it tonight. It's getting so good. The interactions between Gideon and, what's her name? Rune, are really tense in multiple ways. Obviously he's a witch hunter and she's a secret witch. Yeah, and she's also secretly a witch. I couldn't think of this word the other day and I still can't think of it. What is the word? Vigilante. Vigilante is the word that I am thinking of. So she's going around and like going against the blood guard and saving the witches. Vigilante. Anyway, it's really good so far. I'm 114 pages in, hoping to get further in today. But the reason I didn't read that yesterday is because I've been reading The Keeper of Lost Things by Ruth Hogan, because this is my work's book club book for this month, and our book club meeting for this month is tomorrow. And I'm on page 88. I don't think I'm going to be finishing this book before the book club meeting, but that's okay. This is not a book that I typically pick up, and I don't think it's one that I want to finish. I'm probably going to DNF it. It's not a bad book, it's just really not my personal preference, not to my taste. It's essentially about a guy called Anthony, and he collects things that people have lost, and he writes down like where he got it from, where he found it, what day, and everything like that. And he creates like stories based on who he thinks the item belongs to and what he thinks happened for them to lose the item. And it's also following a girl called Laura who works for Anthony, and then when Anthony passes, he basically leaves in everything in his will to Laura, with the condition that she tries to return every single item that he's collected over the years to their rightful owners. I'm only 88 pages in so far, so we're not quite there yet, but it's a really like nice wholesome premise, but it's just not for me. I'm not really a wholesome kind of person, I don't think. I don't know what that says about me. But yeah, the writing's cute. It's a cute book. I just am most likely gonna DNF, because if I don't finish it before the book club meeting tomorrow, then I don't see myself having any motivation to pick it up after. I mean, I haven't even had the motivation to pick it up for the book club, so you know, I'm crossing my fingers that we're gonna get a thriller tomorrow. We do like people at work choose what book it is, or like give recommendations. I'm really hoping we're gonna get a thriller this month, because so far we've had like, none of the books that we've had so far have been ones that I would pick up normally. I'm hoping for a thriller. Anyways, I am gonna put this down and I'm gonna pick this one up, because I just can't contain myself any longer. I must know what happens next. I just need to know. And the problem is, this is book one in a duology, and the second one is not out yet, so I know for a fact this is going to end on a cliffhanger. So I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, but I just really want to read it. I'm really enjoying it, and I just have to. Okay, today's Saturday, so we currently have today and tomorrow left of this vlog. Listen, this is a realistic week of reading, and I barely filmed anything during the week, and that is simply because I barely read anything during the week. Like I said, like after work, on any day really, I'm mostly brain dead, and the first thing I want to do is read, but the last thing I physically can do is read, because like I said, I'm literally brain dead after work. So I haven't filmed much during the week. However, like I said, today's Saturday, it is the evening now, and I've made significant progress on my current reads. So I actually finished The Crimson Moth by, I'm not even going to try and pronounce the author's name again because I don't know how to, but I finished The Crimson Moth today, and I am going to be completely honest, I did cry when I read this book, because it was within like the last, I'm going to say like 30 to 40 pages, something happened that literally ripped my heart out of my chest, and I didn't expect it at all, which is why I cried, because it took me by surprise. But that is to say that I ended up giving this book 5 stars. I absolutely adored it, and the next book doesn't come out until the 27th of February 2025. So that's really depressing, because how can you do me like this? It ended on such a cliffhanger, which I expected, but it just really upset me. Anyway, because I was devastated at the end of this book, I felt like I had to immediately pick up Twisted Hate after, just to try and not go into a depressive hole. And I ended up actually making a ton of progress on Twisted Hate. I haven't read this for like 2 weeks, I think I said at the start of this vlog, but then today I have read up to page 447 so far, so I only have 50 pages left, 55 pages left maybe, so I'm going to finish this tonight. I've been reading it on my Kindle, which has made it go by so much faster, but that does mean that only the first half of this book is annotated, because the second half I read on my Kindle, but that's okay. I am actually enjoying this one now. It did get a bit slumpy, and I think I'll probably end up giving this one 3 stars. just because, yeah, it did put me in a bit of a slump, but I'm enjoying myself again now. But yeah, so I've made significant progress. I will let you know when I've finished Twisted Hate. I'm going to try and finish it tonight, so I'll either update you tonight or tomorrow morning, and we'll go through what I've read this week. Also, I'm just uploading my June TBR, and I'm actually very excited for my June TBR, and in my next video I am going to try and focus on reading books from my June TBR, because May was not successful in terms of completing it. I think I only read like maybe 4 or 5 books in May, maybe even 3 or 4, which is low for me personally, and I don't know what happened. Again, Twisted Hate just sort of put me in a slump, and that also meant that I didn't complete my May TBR at all. I think I read 2 books off there out of like 8, which is not good at all. But yeah, June I'm going to try and be more successful with reading the books that are actually on that list. So next week I am going to be doing a reading my June TBR video. So yeah, I'll see you in like 2 seconds for you.
I really hate you, 'cause you made me so blue, and I promise to God I'll call you.
Okay, it is much later now. It's about 10 PM on Sunday evening, and I have just finished reading Twisted Hate. So I'm gonna give my wrap up for the week. So I read these 3 books this week. I actually like finished the Inmate because I think I'd started it last week. But I finished the Inmate. I think I gave it 4 stars. I'm gonna have to double check. I was supposed to double check. Okay, I gave the Inmate 3 stars actually. Now I remember, this was my lowest rated Frida McFadden. That doesn't deter me from Frida McFadden though, and I still would recommend this one. Then I read The Crimson Moth, which I gave 5 stars, and would recommend this to anyone who loves fantasy or even wants to get into fantasy, because it was not difficult to read or understand at all. The magic system was very easy. It was just witches using like marks to create spells. It was very, very easy. And then I read Twisted Hate by Anna Huang, or finished it, because again I think I started this last week or the week before even. And I gave this one 3 stars as well. It's the 3rd book in the Twisted series. Not my favourite in the series, actually probably my least favourite in the series, just simply because it put me in a bit of a slump. And again, that doesn't deter me from finishing the series. I will still read Twisted Lies, because I'm excited for Stella's story, and I want to finish out the series. This doesn't put me off at all. But yeah, those are the 3 books I read this week, and if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, and I'll see you next week.
You are